What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to show you how to implement routing in React.js applications. More specifically, I will show you a simple way to implement public, private, and restricted routes, or simply protected routes. This may come in handy when you are working on a project that has authentication in it. We will be using the React Router DOM library for routing. Before we get into it, I want to show you the logic of our application. We are going to have three types of routes. The first one is going to be the public route, and the public route will act as a blueprint for the pages that are accessible to anyone, both authenticated and unauthenticated users. For example, we can have the home page or the about page. And then we will have a private route that will act as the blueprint for all the private pages in our application. It will only be accessible to authenticated users. In this category, we can have the profile page and the dashboard page. If a user who is not authenticated tries to access one of these pages, they should be redirected to the authentication page, like the sign up page or sign in page. And finally, we will have the restricted route or the authentication route for the pages that are only accessible to unauthenticated users. In this category, we can have both the sign up and the sign in pages. This is the demo of the finished application, and basically we have three pages. We have the home page, the sign up page, and then the profile page. When users open the application, they will see this home page with the links to the profile and the sign up pages. If they try to access the profile page, they will be redirected to the sign up page. If they sign up, they will get authenticated and they will have access to the profile page. After being authenticated, users can no longer have access to the sign up page. We are not going to use a state management library like Redux in this tutorial. Maybe we can save that for another video. Now, without further ado, let's get into the code. The first thing I want to do is to create a new project by running npx create React app, React routing, for this to work, you need to have Node installed on your machine, so you should make sure that you have it. This will take some time, so I will come back once this is finished. So after creating the project, I want to navigate to the project. In this project, we are going to use the React Router DOM for routing, so I am going to go ahead and install it. This is also going to take some time, so I will come back once the installation is finished. Okay, this one was fast. I am going to open this project in VS Code. You can use any code editor you want, it doesn't matter. So here I am going to start the development server by running npm start. So once we have run the app, we are going to see this default React app in the browser. So our project is going to have 3 pages, like I said. So what I want to do now is to go ahead and create a folder for those pages. First we'll have the home page, then we will have the sign up page, and finally we will have the profile page. So here inside the home page, I'm going to create a functional component for the home page. And for now, I am going to return something very simple. Welcome to the home page. Going to export this. That's the default. I am going to do the same for the sign up and the profile page. I'll just change the names. Sign up page, and then here for the profile page. Here in the app.js, I am going to bring in those pages I created. Here I am going to delete everything we don't need. For example, we don't need any of these things. We don't need this logo. I'm also going to change this to the container. Here I am going to bring in those pages we created, so I am going to go ahead and import them. Home page. Now I want to display these pages, and to do this I will need to bring in a bunch of stuff from the React router DOM. So I'm gonna go ahead and import the basic stuff from the React router DOM. The first thing we will need is the browser router. As the router, we need the route. We will also need the switch component. I am going to implement the basic routing in React. So here I am going to implement the basic routing in React using these things we are importing from the React router DOM. First, we need to wrap everything here. By default, I am going to use this road. So here I am going to create our routes. I am going to put them in one file. So here the first thing we need to do is to import the redirect component from React router DOM. We will also need to import the route as well. I'm going to create one route, and it's going to be auth route, and this will take is authenticated as a prop, and then we also need to get the remaining props. So here what we are going to do by default is to return this root component, and we are going to pass in all the remaining props. So what I would like to do is to check if the user is authenticated, and if the user is authenticated, they should be redirected to the home page. So I'm going to if is authenticated, return redirect to the home page. So this should work for the restricted. This is also going to be our restricted route. This is the restricted route. This is the restricted route, which is only accessible to the users who are not authenticated. And then here I am going to implement the private route using the same logic. So here what I would like to do is to check if the user is authenticated, and if the user is not authenticated, they should be redirected to the sign up page. So if the user is not authenticated, they should be redirected to the sign up page. So basically, this is the basic implementation of our restricted and private routes. So before we continue, I would like to go ahead and change the styles of our website. I will not type everything here. I am going to go ahead on my GitHub repository and copy all the styles from here. Don't worry about these styles. These are the basic styles for our application to look a little bit better. I will put the link to the GitHub repository in the description section below, so you can check them. So in here I am going to bring in the routes we created so that we can use them. The auth route and private route. I also want to bring in the use state. hook from React. So here we are going to have two states. The first one is to store the authentication state. And by default, it's going to be false. And we also need a state for storing the user data, because we are going to sign up users. So when we create a user, we should be able to store this data. And by default, it's going to be null. I also want to have two functions. The first function is going to be for logging out the user, and the second one is going to be the function for creating a new user. So when you create a new user, you are going to set the user. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new function. I will call it handle sign up. This will take in the data, the user data. Okay, this should be user data, not user date. User data. And then set is authenticated to true. I am also going to have a function for logging out, handle log out. This will set is authenticated to false. Also set user data to null. I want to, instead of using this public root, I am going to use the private root, and here I will use the auth root. I need to pass in is authenticated prop. So instead of passing the component, I am going to use the render function because I need to pass in this handle logout function. So the render function will allow me to be able to pass the handle logout function to this profile page. To remove this, instead I would use the render function. And this will take in the props, and I will return the profile page. And this profile page is going to have the handle logout fun as a prop. It's also going to take in user data. And then it's going to take all the remaining props. I am going to do the same for the sign up page. I am also going to use the render function. This will take in props as well. I will return the sign up page. This will take the handle sign up as a prop, and the remaining props as well. Let's check this and see if it's working in the browser. I'm going to refresh. Okay, this is working. Now, like now, we cannot access the profile page because we are not authenticated. So here in the home page, I am going to change some stuff. I am going to bring in the link component from the React router DOM. This will allow us to navigate through different pages. So instead of returning this text, I'm going to link to different pages. So I'm going to turn welcome text. Welcome text. I am going to link to the profile page, and then I am going to link to the sign up page. Okay, let's see if this will work in the browser. Let's go back to the home page. Okay, so here we are. We are being redirected to the sign up page because we are not authenticated. So if I try to access the sign up page, this should work as expected because we are not authenticated. The next thing I want to do is to go in the sign up page so that we can be able to create a new user and authenticate that user. Here we will also need the use state hook from React because we are going to use a form and we need to store the user inputs. Now, instead of returning this text, I am going to return a form. On submit, handle submit function. We will create this in a second. So this sign up page is taking the handle login function as a prop. Okay, let's implement the state for the basic user information. And we are going to have the full name, username, email, and password. So I am going to go ahead and implement those. Okay, so here we are setting state for the form fields. We will have the username, we'll have the full name, the username, email, and password. So here I am going to go ahead and implement these fields. Value for name on change. Okay, I am going to do the same for the remaining fields. I'm going to copy this. Okay, so we'll have username, have email, Then here we have the password. This is an email field. This is also a password field. And finally, we are going to have a submit button. Button type submit sign up. Okay, let me create this handle submit function. This will take in the event. So when I submit the form, I don't want the website to reload, so I'm going to do this by running the event.prevent default. Okay, this is password. This handle submit function, I'm going to use the handle login function we are getting as a prop, and then this will take in the user data. In the user data, we are going to pass in the full name, username, and email. And when we submit this form, we should be authenticated and we won't have access to this page. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. This is not handle login, it's handle sign up. Okay, let's test this one more. Okay, this is not working, and the reason this is not working is because here we are supposed to have this authenticated prop. So we forgot this. So if we do this, it should work. So now we are authenticated, and since we are authenticated, we cannot access this sign up page, but we can access this profile page. Here in the profile page, instead of returning this text, I want to display the user data and also a button for the user to be able to log out. I'm going to change this. First of all, let me get the handle logout function from the props and also user data as a prop, and here we are going to get the full name, email, and username from user data. So now let's display this user data. Okay, we can wrap this in a div container. You can display the full name. I will use different HTML tags. And finally the email. And here we'll have the button for logging out. Button. So when we click on this button, we should run the handle logout function. Logout. And test this in the browser. Yeah, as you can see, we have the user information. We can go back. We can log out. After logging out, we are being redirected to this sign up page. So sign up page, create account, random password. So now we can navigate to the profile page. Alright guys, this is the end of the video. I will include the link to the GitHub repository in the description section below. And if you guys have any questions, you can mention them in the comment section below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.